Cool. Okay, we'll get started in child's pose. So your big toes can come together or closer together, knees a little bit wider, and then send your seat back towards your heels. And try right away to make this an active child's pose. So maybe consider spreading your fingers nice and wide apart. And then inching your fingers just a little bit further towards the front of your mat. And this might result in a nice stretch in the shoulder blades or somewhere in the upper back. Keep spreading the fingers nice and wide. Take a full breath in. And then soften and sink down on your exhale. So you almost lessen that activation in the arms. Allow your forehead to become just a little bit heavier, and you might even start to rock your head slowly side to side. Maybe noticing if you have any spots that feel like holding tension in the forehead, you might pause there. It's like this nice little massage around your forehead, your brow bones. Take one more full round of breath right here. And start to shift the weight forward. Come into all fours, tabletop pose. And just a few rounds of cat-cow to warm up the spine. Take a breath in to drop the belly down, maybe lift the chin, lift the face. And then exhale to round the upper back. Drop your chin towards your chest, curl in. 2 more rounds like that. Breathe in slowly to cow pose. And breathe out to find cat pose. One more on your own. Come back to a neutral spine. Start to reach your right hand up towards the sky. So you'll open up to the right slightly. And then on your exhale, thread the needle. Send your right arm through and over towards the left. Drop your right temple down towards your mat. And then I want you to walk your left hand a little bit further away from where it first started. Tent your hand here, pads of your fingers pressed down. And as you press into your hand, I want you to think about leaning the back of your heart away from your right hand. So you're just, rather than just like sinking down towards your mat, I want you to make this an active stretch. So just lean away from the right hand. Maybe even look up towards your left shoulder. Take one more big inhale right here. And then exhale, come back to center. And then you'll reach your left arm up. Take a big inhale. Exhale, thread the needle. We're just going to start by creating a little bit more space in the upper body. You can tent that hand again, press down into it, and then lean the back of the heart away. One more big inhale right here. And then exhale, come back, hands and knees. Just one round of cat-cow to reset. Breathe in to find cow. Breathe out to round. Back into neutral spine. Now stay here, stay completely neutral, right? So engage the core. Think about drawing the belly in and up a bit more, tuck your toes. Keep all of that, just hover your knees about 3 inches off of your mat. And stay and find 3 full breaths here. So start to maybe even breathe in and out through your nose. Feeling the core turn on. So you can bring that into every single shape that you take. Take one more inhale right here. And then send your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Start to pedal the feet. So bending one knee at a time. Maybe even shaking the head, yes, no. And take your feet just a little bit wider apart and then start to walk your hands back towards them. Land in ragdoll pose with soft knees, back of the neck long. You might even sway side to side here a bit. Release the arms. Slowly roll all the way up to standing. And once you're there, start to shrug your shoulders up towards your ears. Bring them back and down. Do that one more time. Breathe in, draw them up. Send them back and down. Turn your palms forward. Fingers spread wide here. Stay in mountain pose. Big inhale. Open up your mouth. Long exhale. So nice. And then take your hands to your hips. Shift the weight into the left foot and you'll pick that right knee up hip height. So create a 90-degree angle with that right knee. Start to send that right knee out to the right just a bit. Don't let the left hip follow. So keep the hip squaring off to the front and then bring it back to center. So you're just warming that hip up so the lower body starts to turn on. Send it out and then bring it forward. Now press your right heel forward. Reach your hands straight up towards the sky. Feel the right hip flexors really turn on. Take one more big breath in. And stay balancing on your left leg. I want you to swing that right leg behind you and tip your chest forward, coming into airplane pose or even warrior three pose. So soften that left knee. If you have a little wobble, you fall, come right back in, no big deal. Take one more big inhale. Think about lengthening through the crown of the head and back through the heel. And then exhale, come up, land in mountain pose. Notice the difference between right and left. You're really calling on those muscles in the left standing leg, the supporting leg, to turn on. Take a breath in. Open your mouth. Let it go. Hands come to your hips. Pick your left knee up. So you're going to do that all on the other side. And so create that 90-degree. Send your left knee out to the left. Still squaring shoulders, hips off to the front. Nice. And then bring it back to center. Do that again. Draw it out. Just like slow movement. Bring it back. Now press your left heel forward. Nothing else changes. Just reach your hands straight up towards the sky. Stay for a breath in. Breath out. One more inhale. And then you'll swing that leg almost like a pendulum behind you as you tip the chest forward. You can soften that right knee. Stay broad across the chest. The belly turns on just like you did when you were on all fours, just hovering the knees. Find that same action. Take one more big inhale. And then exhale, bring it back up to standing. Arms down along your side. Big inhale through the nose. Big exhale out through the mouth. Excellent. Reach your hands up. Take a full breath in. Look up. Softly bend the knees. Fold forward. Halfway lift your hands to your shins. Look towards the front of your mat. And then walk your hands there, downward facing dog. You can soften through the knees. Big inhale. Exhale, pull forward to plank pose. So of course you can always drop your knees. But I want you to find that same action. Don't let the hips sink down. That same action like you were hovering the knees before. Take one more inhale. Keep all of that. Lower all the way down to your belly. Find cobra pose. You'll lift the heart up. And then exhale, release down. Do that one more time. Inhale, lifting the chest. And exhale to lower. Press back, hands and knees, tabletop pose. Knees go wide, child's pose.
Maybe let it be active like you did before, spreading the fingers wide. Full breath in. Long exhale out. So nice. Come back up, hands and knees. Inhale to find cow. Exhale to find cat. Send your right leg behind you. Let it float hip height. Maybe left hand reaches forward. Little spinal balance. Take one breath in to pull that apart. And then exhale, left elbow taps right knee underneath you. Just one time, that's it. And then inhale, pull it apart. Set your left hand down, step your right foot outside your right hand, coming into a lunge. Inhale to rock the hips forward and lift through the chest. And then exhale, pull the hips back, pick the right toes up, getting a stretch in the back of the leg. Inhale again to rock forward. Tuck the back toes and lift the back knee up. Start to trace the long edge of your mat. Land in a wide leg forward fold. So parallel your feet. Let your head drop. You're not here too long, just a full breath in. Full exhale out. And come into a halfway lift. Start to turn your heels in, your toes out. Bend your knees and rise up into a squat. Like a goddess squat. And you can bring your hands to your heart center. Maybe soften through the shoulders. Stay for a breath in. Maybe sink just a little bit lower. One more full inhale. Maybe a little bit lower. Excellent. Now stand all the way up for a moment. Parallel the feet. So you straighten the legs. Sweep the arms up overhead. A big breath in. Find warrior two facing the front of your mat. Bend your right knee. Reverse your warrior. Right hand will rise. Side angle, forearm to your thigh here. Left arm, reach it alongside your ear. Stay for a breath in. Breath out. Come back up, warrior two. So nice. Now straighten the legs. Start to drop your right hand down, left arm will rise, triangle pose. Now, if you have that block, your block might come to the highest setting behind, right behind your right leg. You can prop your right fingertips on top of it to find more length along the right side of your torso, rather than having to sink all that weight down towards the ground. One more big breath in. So nice. Breath out. Come back to warrior two for a moment. So you'll rise up, just bend through your right knee. I want you to step your left foot to meet the right at the top of your mat. Just a big step. Full inhale to reach the hands up. Exhale to sink back, find chair pose. Stay for the inhale. Bring your hands to your heart center. A little bit of a flow. You're gonna play with that balance again, but a different entry point. Right foot, you'll put more weight into it as you pick the left heel up. You're finding this little bit of a balance. Start to tip your heart forward. Send your left heel back. Find that one steady thing to keep your eyes on. One more inhale here. You might wobble a bit. And then land back. Find a high lunge. So now your hips are square to the front. Shoulders square to the front. Arms reach up overhead. Stay for one more breath in. Slowly lower your left knee to your mat. Hook thumbs overhead, elbows wide. Lift your chest up. Right knee comes to meet your left. Tabletop pose. Breath in to find cow. Breath out to find cat. Back to neutral. Now it's your left leg. Send it behind you, hip height. Right hand can reach forward. Take a breath in, pull it apart. And then right elbow, left knee, tap it in. Pull it apart on your inhale. Right hand plants, left foot outside your left hand. Coming into that lunge, rock forward on the inhale just a bit. And then exhale, pull the hips back. Pick the left toes up. Come back forward into that lunge, but back toes tuck under, lift your right knee up. And start to trace the long edge of your mat, other side, wide leg forward fold. Your feet will parallel, facing the long edge of your mat, and then drop your head down. Shake it, yes. No, maybe even open and close your mouth a few times, a good place to soften the jaw. And then as I start to reach your heart forward here, heels turn in, toes out, bend your knees. And lift your chest up, coming into that squat. Maybe this time, one hand to your belly, one hand to your heart. Encourage the shoulder blades to drop down your back. Soften through the face. Take one more full breath in and out. Excellent. Straighten the legs, parallel the feet. One big stretch overhead. Arms reach up. Warrior two, turn your left toes forward. Bend your left knee. Reverse your warrior, left hand will rise. Side angle, forearm to your thigh, right arm alongside your ear. Take one more inhale, get really long through the fingertips. Back to warrior two. Now straighten your left leg. Heel toe that back foot just a little bit closer. We're gonna try just a bit of a shorter stance on, see what that feels like. Maybe even grab your block, place it behind you. Start to reach your left hand forward and let it lower down to that block, triangle pose. So the goal is not how low your left hand can go down the leg or even to the ground. It's more about how much length you can create from your left hip all the way through your left ribs, through the crown of your head. One more full inhale. So nice. Rise up, bend your left knee, warrior two. Now that fancy, just step that right foot up to the left, land at the top of your mat, full inhale, full exhale. Bend your knees, sit back into chair pose, hands come to your heart center. Stay here for a breath in. Ease on your exhale. Shift the weight into the left foot. Now bring the right heel up towards your right glutes. Send your heart forward, send your right heel back, landing in that warrior three like shape. Take one more big breath in, get really long here, and then softly bend that left knee to land back in a lunge, high lunge. Arms reach up overhead. For one last inhale, feel the front of that right hip stretch. And then exhale, lower the right knee down. Hook thumbs overhead, elbows wide. Breath in, lift the chin. And then exhale, left knee comes to meet the right. Knees go wide, child's pose. Walk your hands forward. Let your forehead rest. You might even bring that block underneath your forehead. And then again, revisit that rocking of the head gently side to side. And you might even like switch up the angle of where your head lands. And for me, having that block allows me to do so. So if I have like tension on my brow, I might even just rock my eyebrow. It sounds silly, but if you try it on, you might even notice like, wow, there's so much tension in those spots in the forehead and even along each brow bone. And I'll take a moment or two to just breathe, soften, find ease. And land in stillness if you'd like. Full breath in. Long exhale out. Oh, nice. And you can remove that block and you'll lie down on your back. So you'll just switch into your back. If you want to take any final seated poses here, of course, before you make your way onto your back, take those. And then once on your back, hug your right knee into your chest. Draw it in, maybe take a roll of the ankle, wiggle of the toes. And then find a supine twist. Bring that knee across your body. Right arm can reach away. One more inhale here. And then exhale, come back to center. And switch. Right leg long. Hug your left knee in. Again, a roll of the ankle. Fan out the toes. And find your twist. Come back to center, hug both knees in if you want. You can separate the knees apart and little rock side to side if that's what your low back is craving, maybe even in a circle. Hug your knees into your chest, one last squeeze. And of course, taking any final shapes that you'd like before you land in stillness. But then you allow your legs to go long, your arms either down along your sides, or sometimes it feels good just to rest your hands on your torso somewhere. To notice the movement, the ebb and the flow of your breath. To connect to it a little bit more. Close the eyes. Notice the sounds that you hear around you. Rather than reacting to them, just observe them. Notice the subtle movement that happens. And the ebb and the flow, the rise and the fall of your breath.
with that awareness of your breath, allow your next inhale to be a little bit thicker. And the exhale to be a little bit longer. And take a few more like that. So these intentional breaths. And as you start to wake the body up here to that little bit of rest, just wiggle the fingers, the toes, and rock your head gently side to side. Reach your arms overhead, point your toes to find that long body stretch. And you can start to bend your knees, roll to your side, and press yourself up to a seat. Once you arrive there, sit up nice and tall. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. You might even lift your fingertips up towards your forehead and lift your chin, lift your face. If you're in the